We made it to April. How was your March? Mine was absolutely insane. Good and bad. And hello, celestial beings. It's me, Mel, aka Pocket Mystic, and I'm on a mission to make mysticism more accessible and supportive through tarot readings, astrological updates, and guided meditations that fit seamlessly into your schedule. So today we're going to be talking about the astrology for 2026. I'll walk you through the highlights, and then we'll have a tarot spread at the end to help support you during this time. And if you've heard all the yapping from all the astrologers, you know that astrologers have been talking about this month for years, decades probably. So I'm going to get into why, but we're keeping two things in mind. We're asking ourselves, how good could this change be for me? And then we're just kind of looking at all of this chaos and saying, you know what, I'm going after my dreams. Because who cares what anyone thinks in this world where the dynamics are shifting literally. So I should go after what I want, right? Okay. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick announcement. I am actually going to be doing an in-person workshop. So it's called Using Tarot to Unlock Your Creativity. We're going to have a few exercises, a few guided meditations. I'm going to talk about using a tarot practice to help boost your creativity. And then at the end, we'll be doing a collage of the Empress card. So if you happen to be in Charleston, South Carolina, on April 17th, which, by the way, is the new moon in Aries, which we'll, of course, talk about, then please join me. If you're interested, you can sign up at thepapercanopy.com. It will be hosted by The Paper Canopy. Okay, so enough about me and you. Hopefully, if you're coming to the workshop, I would love to meet you in person. Let's get into the astrology that is happening. And as always, we're going to start with where we're at astrologically going into April. So we have the Sun, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron all in fiery initiatory Aries at the start of the month. You know this. You've seen the Saturn-Neptune in Aries conjunction. You've had the Sun in Aries. We've had Chiron in Aries for a while. And they're all together, and we're going to have 7 full planets there. But that means we are talking initiation, baby. And if you're like, wait, we had the astrological new year already, we did. We gave birth, and now we're kind of able to see, okay, here's what we're going to do with this. Here's the action that we need to take now that this big thing happened, right? Okay. Exciting. Venus moved into Taurus on March 30th. So that is going to be so great because Venus is the ruler of Taurus. It is her home sign, one of them. And this is going to give us so much comfort and grounding as we talk about the fiery and wild astrology that's coming into April. The great thing about Venus and Taurus is this boosts our ability to be embodied. This is a time of embodiment, to get into our bodies, to ground in them and hear what they have to say. And we're really going to need that with all this fire going on. Remember, we're also in the year of the fire horse. So this is going to really help us to do that grounding work, to learn how to tune into our bodies better and better. So I really encourage you, if you don't have an embodiment practice already, to find one. You know, it could be as simple as dancing for 10 minutes and just, what am I feeling in my body? What's working through my body? Things like that. Or, you know, some of the somatic practice work. I would really encourage you to do that during this time. But I really love Venus here in Taurus while the world is changing around us. And she's going to help us get very grounded about what we value and what we love. And that's going to be important because there's so much going on, right? That this time of Venus and Taurus, you can really tune into, no, I don't need to care about that. That's not a part of my values. That's not a part of my love. I'm getting rid of it. And that's going to be supercharged because at the beginning of April, bim, bam, boom, bop, however you say that, the month is starting off strong with a full moon in Libra. And Libra is also ruled by Venus, but unlike Taurus, it is an air sign. So full moons are always about what we are releasing. So we have this very positive, helpful grounding of Venus and Taurus about what we love. And then the moon is in Libra, and it's giving us an opportunity to release what is not loving us back or what's getting in the way of us spending time with what we love and what we value, what's not serving us. And this will also be interacting with Jupiter and Cancer, because Cancer's ruler is the moon, right? So this is going to expand the energy even more. This is a really expansive time of release. And we release things so that we can get better things, right? So very quickly, I'm going to run through the themes of what you'll likely be looking at releasing based on your rising sign. So Aries rising, ideas about your selfhood. Taurus, likely things are going to be coming up that are hidden, like about your hidden life, about karma, about ancestry, about secrets. And by the way, for everyone, even if you're not a Taurus rising, Friday, we're all going to be going through that. So Taurus, you're going to get a sneak preview. Taurus rising. Gemini rising, your place in your community, the communities you engage with. Cancer rising, your public image. Leo, your purpose, your spirituality, higher education, travel, publishing. Virgo, your power dynamics. Libra rising, committed partnerships are going to be highlighted here. Scorpio rising, your health and routines. Sag rising, your pleasure, where you find pleasure, what's giving you pleasure, what's not. Capricorn, your home and family life. Aquarius, your communications and siblings. And Pisces, just what you value is going to be really highlighted during this time. But for all of us, with the full moon in Libra, and also when we have Venus interacting with Pluto a little later, it's really a good time to look at our committed partnerships. What have we committed ourselves to? Be it business, be it a lifestyle, be it a romantic partner, be it a friendship that is no longer serving us in this time. So I want everyone to be thinking about that with this full moon. And if you need help with that, I know I plug this one a lot, but I personally find it very valuable. We have the Working with the Devil Tarot guided meditation that can help you see like what you've bound yourself to that is no longer serving. Okay, so we are starting the month off with a major release, which is a great way to start this wild ride. And then the key dates I want you to keep in mind are April 14th, April 17th, and April 25th. April 25th is a Saturday, and I am making no plans. I'm going to be cozy at home, and I'll tell you why. But first, let's talk about April 9th. No, wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, first we're going to talk about April 3rd. This is what I was hinting at. April 3rd is when Venus squares Pluto. So Venus rules what we value, what we love, beauty, femme, all of those things, the arts. And Pluto, right, is the king of the underworld, of what is hidden. And he's in Aquarius. He's been there for a while. And, that's always a very revolutionary time period, right? Pluto stays around for a while, so 30-ish years. So we're going to be interacting with this for a while. Aquarius, of course, is all about the common good. So when Pluto goes into Aquarius, he's trying to bring up what's not serving the common good so that we can get to a better place. And Venus, of course, is in Taurus. So they'll be squaring each other on April 3rd. And what this is going to do is it's going to be revealing the truth about our relationships, about our partnerships. It's going to force us to look at what is true and what is not working. It could be about your money, because Venus does rule values, right? And it could be about your relationships. So really just, give yourself an easy day. Let yourself have space for these truths to come up and breathe, right? Breathe. A lot of what's going to come up is probably going to be, you know what, I already knew this, but it's going to be like, I cannot ignore this thing anymore. Like you have a picture in your house that is driving you absolutely insane and you've just been like, oh, I can't look at this anymore. and you're going to finally on that day be like, this is making me unwell. Throw the picture out, you know? So I would try not to be dramatic unless it's about getting rid of a picture you hate. Do it. do it before. You don't need to wait till the 3rd. But if it's about relationships or money, I would just give yourself time to be like, okay, I'm seeing this. I have to deal with this. And like, let me rationally work through how I want to deal with this. All right. Okay. So now we can get into April 9th. So on this day, Mars joins the Sun, Saturn, Chiron, and Neptune in Aries. And Mars is the planet of action, energy, and aggression, and it rules Aries, right? This is its sign. This is its domicile. So the planet of action is coming to interact with all these other entities and spark initiative and energy behind what they're trying to do. So you can drop your big 3 below or just your rising sign, and I can share more about what to expect during this time. But the point is, it's big. Neptune, which is a slow-moving outer planet that rules illusions and dreams, is there. Saturn, which rules our boundaries and limitations and wants us to build for the long term, even though Aries and Mars are both kind of like, let's get it going. I don't necessarily have a long-term plan, but now Saturn is there saying, you better find one. The Sun, our egos, our identity is there. So whatever this Aries placement is initiating in you around your ego and around your identity, Mars is going to give you a boost there. And then Chiron, which is our wounds, is also there. So you're gonna be feeling like you need to take action, but you're also gonna be dealing with like illusion surfacing. You're gonna be dealing with your wounds deep down. And I really think, this time period for all of us collectively is about finding our own sense of agency. Where have we given our power away, and where are we going to take it back? I think that's a really big theme of this month, and taking action, like actually taking it back, not just being like, well, I could set this boundary. No, you're setting the boundary this month. I'm saying that to myself too, right? Okay. And this is a powerful alignment of planets and points, and it gets more powerful on April 14th when we have Mercury, the planet of communication and technology, also joining the planets, and Aries, and making this message clear, right? It is going to be clear. What is meant to happen during this period will literally be screaming in our ears. We will hear it loud. We will hear it clear. You, me, all of us, okay? Neptune is a collective planet. Saturn is a social planet, and this will impact us as a collective. It will impact our communities, and it will impact us individually. Something is being birthed during this time that will be with us for a long time. Okay, so that's April 14th when we have these 7 planets in Aries. Okay, then we get a new one. We get the moon on April 17th. We have a new moon in Aries on April 17th, and that's really just gonna seal the deal, right? We are going to be doing some intense intention setting. I will have a different video for that specifically, so I won't get into it too deeply here, but this is really, we're gonna be like, okay, we're committing, we're setting our intentions. We've done that so many times this year, but we're really locking it with this new moon in Aries. And guess what? We have to constantly reaffirm what we're committing ourselves to, right? And sometimes we commit ourselves to something and we're like, ooh, that wasn't what I wanted, and we learn. So that's why we do it every new moon. We're just constantly reaffirming this. Okay. And then on April 19th, we get a little break from this Aries energy, but not totally, because we have the sun moving into Taurus. It will be Taurus season. That is my sun sign. Woo! And of course, so the sun will be there with Venus for a little bit. So both our egos, our identity, and of course, what we value, what we find pleasure in, will have this little nice reprieve with these two signs together in grounded, earthy, embodied Taurus. But we're gonna really need it because we have this really interesting thing happening on April 20th. So we will have this kind of like triple conjunction between Mars, Mercury, Saturn, all within a few hours of each other. And so, of course, when we have Saturn and Mars coming together, that's really taking Saturn, the planet of time, of boundaries, of structure, is coming up against this planet of Mars, which is about aggression, action, initiation. So this could be a great time to really get a boost of initiation for our long-term plans, but it's also likely to be a big tension point. These two are at odds a little bit because Mars just wants to act and Saturn wants a plan. And then with Mercury and Mars going conjunct, right, we want to act. How we think, how we communicate is coming up against that. So, the sense of acting without really thinking all the way. And then Mercury and Saturn. How are we communicating? How are we thinking about? How are we letting other people in? What technology are we using on these long-term plans that we're building? But that's also going to not just impact us personally, but likely we're to see it impact the world. So I'm not going to get too much into it. I might do a different video on it because it is really interesting. It has a really interesting history. But just know April 20th, that's another day maybe where you just give yourself a break if you can. Let's just take off the whole month of April. Okay. And then April 24th, we have Venus moving into Gemini. So, we're going to not have that same sense of grounding. We will have the sun in Taurus, of course, and then we will have some other planets moving into Taurus as we get into May. But we're losing a little bit of the grounding because Gemini is an air planet. It is ruled by Mercury. So, there's a chance during this period that you get stuck in your head. And that's why I really think the embodied practices, the boost at the beginning of Venus and Taurus is going to help you to just keep going back to what you know to be true. We'll get into that a little bit more towards the end of the month. And then we have Uranus entering Gemini on April 25th. Now, Uranus has been in Gemini before. And actually, that was one of my first videos that I ever made. So if you want to understand what that's going to mean, you can go listen to that one. But Uranus in Gemini is a very volatile time, right? Uranus is a planet of revolution, and Gemini is this air planet. It's the planet of communication, of technology. So disruptiveness is a historical past of Uranus coming into Gemini. But remember, we're asking ourselves, how good could this be for me? Revolutions in technology, maybe there's like a revolution in medical technology that makes all of our lives better. Maybe something terrible happens to AI that puts a brake on it or puts regulations on it where we feel like it's less out of control. There are plenty of things that could happen. So I'll do like a mid-month catch up because there's so much happening in April and I don't want this to be too long. I just kind of want to prepare you for what's going on. So yeah, I'm taking April 25th slow and steady. Take it with me. Because the other thing, and I get into this more in the video, is Uranus is also represents our nervous systems. So our nervous systems have had the benefit of being in Taurus, which is, a grounded, earthy, embodied planet. And now it's going into Gemini, which is not grounded. It's air, literally. So that's why I'm really saying, start building an embodiment practice now to help support you during that time. And maybe when I do the mid-month check-in, I could talk about some embodiment practices that have been really helpful for me. But I also just want to say, yes, April is crazy. Yes, we have a lot happening, but July is crazy in a good way. Okay. So we have some really great astrology coming up, and I kind of like to think about this time as like a cleaning up period, right? We've been talking about like we're titrating between the old energy of like earth and water, which is what most of these outer planets have been in, now moving in to this new energy of fire and air. But we have some things to clean up there. Like things move much slower in earth signs. They move much slower in water signs, like slowest in earth, right? Slower in water than in fire or air, okay? So we're kind of like, there are things that are unfinished that need to be dealt with. And so I like to think that this is forcing a big sort of cleanup period of all the things that we have seen, that have come up, that have happened. Like, okay, they're not good. They're not good, but it's time to fix that, clean it, work with it, right? Okay. And so that's where now we're going to get into a collective tarot spread to help support us during the month of April. And I'm doing this for the collective, but as always, you can use this spread and pull it for yourself to understand how it's going to impact you more personally. Okay. So for the spread, card 1 is going to be what commitments or agreements are ready to be released. Card 2, what truth have we been avoiding? Card 3, where can we take back our agency? Card 4, where can we find our grounding? And card 5, where can we find hope in the chaos? And if you want to pull the cards for yourself and leave what you got, I can help you interpret them if you would like. Okay, but we're talking about the collective reading. And when I did my pull, 2 cards popped out and they wanted to be heard as sort of like a framing, right? So I got the 2 of Wands, who is standing at the threshold. We have the world in our hands. We can see the horizon, but we haven't stepped forward yet. It's the energy of this bold vision and the moment just before commitment. That's what we're sitting in as we're getting into April. And then the 10 of Pentacles is the long game. It's legacy, it's abundance that lasts, it's foundations that are built for generations. So these 2 cards came out to frame this. And they're saying, you see the world you want to build. It is a long game. What you're going to build in April is a long game, and it is about legacy. So that's why we really want to work with this opportunity of Venus and Taurus to solidify, what do I value? What is important to me? What is worth building in the long run, right? Using that Saturnian energy, what do I want to actually commit to? So this isn't just about what feels exciting right now, but what actually builds into something real and lasting. It's the tension between I can see it and I am ready to build it. And that's what April is, but it's going to be like, no more tension, build, let's build. Okay. So this is when I was pulling the cards, I was like, whoa, I'm struggling. Well, just with the last 2 cards, but with card 1, what commitments or agreements are we ready to be released? We have the Emperor, and this is really interesting. The Emperor represents top-down authority, rigid systems, agreements that we made structures with that tell us how we're going to do things, like how we have to do things. It's rules, it's hierarchies, it's inherited definitions of success. And so we're being asked to release our commitments to systems that were never built for us. I mean, hell yeah, right? Like the systems hold up because we keep putting faith in them. We keep supporting them by saying, yes, I'll follow these rules. And April is asking us to release them. Maybe you're leaving behind old contracts, like literal or energetic contracts that you've agreed to. Maybe you're walking away from power structures that you've been deferring to, right? Where you've been giving your agency away, or releasing your own internal emperor, your own internal voice that says, we have to do things this way. We have to do things this way. This is how things work. We are releasing that. And the emperor's energy keeps us safe. But in this case, it's telling us, it's keeping us small too, right? We know what the systems are, so we like them. They give us comfort, but are they helping us? No, in this case, they're not. So April says the agreement we made with that version of power is complete. I mean, that sounds exciting to me. What about you guys? Okay, then card 2, we have what truth have we been avoiding? And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, juicy. So this is the tarot's very gentle way of saying things are already changing. The system, the structures, they are already changing, whether we participate or not. Like, the world is going to change around you, whether you want it to or not. You know, the Wheel of Fortune speaks to cycles, fate, and uncomfortable truth that we don't actually control as much as we think we do. So probably what we're avoiding is that the old cycles are ending. I mean, it's scary, right? You don't know what's going to come up, but that's why, once again, we're believing, how good could this be for me? And maybe just avoiding like the truth that a new cycle has already begun, and like being afraid to step into it, like seeing it but not knowing how to participate. So April is kind of surfacing both of these, but the wheel doesn't stop for anyone. The truth is that we are already in the turn, and that's why we're just stepping into it. We don't have to know everything. We don't have to have it figured out how we're going to operate in this new system. We're just taking each step as it comes to us. And then card 3, where can we take back our agency? We have the 10 of Cups. Okay, this is gorgeous. This is lovely. This is wonderful. The 10 of Cups is the card of emotional fulfillment, of looking at our life and our people and truly feeling this is enough. That is beautiful. In the agency position, this is a radical reframe. Our collective is taking back our power, not through force or through strategy, but through choosing joy and connection as an act of resistance. I think we talked about this in the new moon video, the last new moon video, but part of capitalism's way of keeping us stuck in it is keeping us constantly thinking that what we need is outside of us. But it's not. The things that bring us the most joy a lot of times are just being alone, right? But are connecting with people or animals or plants that you love. And when you realize that that's what brings true joy and not a new house or all these things that you have to buy, you're less susceptible to being in that wheel, right? So in this world that's designed to keep us anxious, isolated, and in scarcity mindset, deciding that we have enough, that the people around us are our people, that the love and belonging that we have is what real currency is, that is an act of profound agency. It's saying, you don't get to tell me my place in the world. I know my place. I have it, right? And the 10 of Cups is saying, stop waiting for those external systems to validate our lives before we let ourselves feel whole. Oh my God. Isn't that beautiful? Our agency lives in the moment we stop deferring our happiness. I can be happy when I get this thing. I can be happy if I have this thing. No, it's right there for you right now. And this also creates this like beautiful tension with the Emperor about releasing those agreements, because a lot of the old agreements told us success had to look a certain way before we were allowed to feel the 10 of Cups, to feel that joy, contentment, satisfaction. And by the way, most of the time when we feel joy, contentment, satisfaction, it's not this big emotional feeling, right? It's pretty calm. It's pretty like, I just saw the most beautiful tree, you know? And April is saying like feel it now. That's how we take our power back. Look around. What are the great things that are in your life? And by the way, if there are things that don't feel great, let's release them at this full moon. Let's get rid of them. I'm having too much fun. I'm too excited for us. Okay. Card 4, where can we find our grounding? We got the 4 of Cups, and I was like, okay, this one took me a moment, but I think it's really profound because the 4 of Cups is typically like you're kind of isolated, you're kind of withdrawn, you don't see the cup that's being offered, you don't see the cups that you already have. But here in this grounding position, it's taking on a different meaning. So grounding in April will come from stillness and discernment. Not every opportunity or offer needs to be grabbed. Not every noise needs a response. The 4 of Cups is saying, go inward, sit with yourself. The ground you're standing on is your own inner knowing, and you can access it when you stop reaching outward for a second. When you stop looking to others to tell you what you should value, what you should care about, right? That's where we're working with Venus and Taurus to get very clear about what we individually value, not what we're told to value. And the earth beneath our feet is our own quiet. That's where our stability lives right now. So I'll definitely be, when we get into the new moon in Aries, that update, I will provide some grounding, or maybe I'll try to put out a guided meditation. I don't know. I get too ambitious sometimes. Okay. But we're finding our grounding inside ourselves. We're not looking outside ourselves for it, right? We're not looking outside for what we value. We're not looking outside for what's important to us. We're saying, what is important to me truly? And that requires some quietness because the world is loud. And then card 5, where can we find hope in the chaos? 8 of Swords. Okay, that's where I was like, 8 of Swords, that is not a hopeful card. But in sitting with it, you know, it's a card of feeling trapped, of feeling blindfolded, of feeling bound, even though you're not actually, right? That's the whole point of that card. And so the gift is its offering. The binding is just an illusion. So the 8 of Swords figure is not actually imprisoned. The swords are loosely arranged. The blindfold could slip. The feet are on solid ground. And the hope in April's chaos is the realization that we have more freedom than we've been told. We feel like we are at the mercy of what is going on in the world. But right, with releasing those old rules, those old playbooks from the emperor, and through realizing that true contentment and joy is available to us right now with our communities, with ourselves, we can realize that whatever the world is trying to tell us, oh, you're stuck, oh, you have to sit here and wait and see, you know, what happens before you can move. No, we do not have to. The 8 of Swords is whispering, look more carefully at what's actually holding you. Is it real or is it a story? And so our hope is in seeing the truth that we can walk away from this sense of being bound. We can do it. We've been able to do it all along. Our contentment is right there for us already with card 3, right? These old systems and structures, we don't need them anymore. The Emperor. The world is changing. The systems of the world were illusion anyway, right? With the Wheel of Fortune. And I think, you know, with the Pluto-Venus square, some of this is going to become really apparent. So that hope is going to come very early in the month for us to connect to. So in conclusion, April is really going to be a month about setting clear intentions about what we are valuing and what we are committing ourselves to, releasing commitments that don't serve us, knowing that even as we're working to build this thing, happiness is right there for us, and releasing the illusions of what binds us. And you're going to get a lot of that with the way all of these planets are changing. So thank you for spending time with me. If you want to let me know in the comments if you'd prefer a guided meditation to help during this time, or if you want me to get more into grounding practices, let me know. I always love to hear from you. Happy April. I'm really excited for us. Okay. I know it's going to feel a little like, wow, but July's astrology is great. I mean, this tarot spread was so helpful, and I really just think it's going to be a great time for us amidst all of the chaos. Okay. So good to be with you, and I'll see you soon.